Good morning. How is everybody this morning? It's not as sunny as I would like on a Sunday, but that's okay. I'm very thankful and grateful to be here today. Pastor Laurel had invited me to present about our information on our program, and then I just did an adult forum. So you just missed that, but no worries. There is still going to be information available to you here within the church. There should be information, flyers, hung up at the church, and Pastor Laura will know more about our program if you ever have any questions. So again, my name is Laura Rasmussen, and I'm a licensed social worker and regional coordinator for the Caregiver Support and Respite Care Program. It's kind of a mouthful, but ultimately what our program does is we work to provide support in-home to caregivers while they are providing that care for a loved one in hopes to keep them in their home for as long as possible. We provide support via coaching, counseling, support groups, education, workshops, and much, much more. A big part of our program is we provide respite care when we have volunteers. And respite care truly means providing somebody a break, relieving them of their caregiving role. And so those volunteers then can go in-home and allow that caregiver to maybe get out and go to a doctor's appointment, or maybe they just need to take a nap or go outside and mow. So our volunteers are really vital to the respite care piece of our program. I'm going to have them show a video for me here in just a second, and it'll help give a better overview of our program. I could talk on and on, but the video seems to be a really great way to share that information. During the adult forum, I guess I'll share with you all too that Pastor Laurel and I are working on starting a group respite program here at First Lutheran Church. And so what we're looking for is volunteers to help with this group respite program. You would have to go through some background checks and fingerprinting and some training as well, but if you had a few hours once a week and you were hoping to help out with this group respite program, please let Pastor Laurel or myself know. What that group would kind of look like is our caregivers would be able to drop off their care receivers here. Our care receivers are 60 years or older or have a form of memory loss. And so it allows those caregivers kind of that guaranteed time off. Those care receivers then kind of get their own sense of socialization and friendship, and so they play games and they drink coffee and they visit and they kind of have their own little outing, hopefully once a week or once every other week. And so that's something we're trying to get started, and we have some planning to do. So if you're interested in helping with that, please let Pastor Laurel know. And with that, I will let them play my video for you guys.
Rennie is one of my AmeriCorps volunteers. One of the families that she takes care of is Carol and Dee Crest.
My mom, Carol, is 84 years old and she lives by herself in assisted living. Before Rennie came into our life, I was on call 24/7. I lived with my mom up here in Brainerd, so I had to give my life up in order to be up here. Without Rennie, our volunteer, my mom wouldn't make it.
I was retired, I didn't have much to do, and that's just not who I am. I love to be involved, but I really wanted to have some meaning to my life.
I can tell you this, all the time she's here, we have a good time.
I could sum up Carol in one word: joy.
It's very, very difficult being a caregiver 24/7. You have no freedom to do what you want, and this gives her a little bit of freedom to be able to reconnect with some of the people that she doesn't get to see anymore.
Because Rennie is in our life and she gets along so well with my mom, our family decided that the assisted living would work. I am able to live in Minneapolis in my home and be close to my family as long as we had someone come in and check on her once a week.
They just spend an afternoon just hanging out together.
Well, some of the things we do together is we go out and we eat lunch, which is wonderful. And then Dee would make us a list sometimes, and we'd have things, and some of the things we wouldn't do. Most of the time we didn't do dusting. We go grocery shopping. She loves puzzles, so we'll do things like that together. You know, we've gone on walks, filling the bird feeders, things like that. So just little things.
Our caregiver respite program utilizes AmeriCorps volunteers, and if they do 450 hours, then they are able to get an education grant that they can, if they're over 55, give to their children or grandchildren.
How do I feel about Rennie? Rennie's like my sister.
Part of our respite program is dealing with the new technology that is becoming available to us.
Errands and lunch with Rennie is in progress and ends at 1 p.m.
It's just been wonderful to include technology in my mom's life.
We have what is called the Technology Project.
I took the Powerful Tools Caregiver class with Mary Smith this last summer and part of the fall. We met once a week through a program called VC on our tablets, and we learned skills that are just invaluable for anyone who is a caregiver. We learned self-support, self-care. Certainly, I would say the first thing that a full-time caregiver should do is contact LSS to find out about the tools education. That's invaluable. And the other thing that I would really emphasize is that it's so important for caregivers to take care of themselves.
I feel very fortunate to have met them, and I think the relationship that the three ladies have is very, very unique.
I really feel like they're my family. Like when I think about Carol, I think about her like Mom Carol, you know, and I just feel close to them, and I feel connected to them, and I really care about what happens in their lives, and I'm glad to be a part of that.
Having a caregiver volunteer is a gift.
They truly enjoy each other, and as Dee says, Rennie's part of their family. And I think that's awesome. That's what this program is made to do.
So as you can see from the video, our volunteers are really vital within our program. And Renee, in this situation, this is a real family in Brainerd, Minnesota, and she was able to help out Carol. And basically our volunteers were then providing basic companionship and supervision to these care receivers. So if you feel that you want to volunteer and give back and this program seems like it would be something that you would enjoy, please let myself or Pastor Laurel know, and she'll get in touch with me if you just have a few hours a week that you would like to volunteer your time to this program. There is a need in this area, and like I said, there's a need with this group respite that we're trying to start too. If you were 17 years or older, you could still volunteer, so you could be a student, a senior, or you could be just headed to college, and you could still volunteer for this program, which would be fantastic. A few other things I want to mention before I wrap up here would be that caregivers can be in many different shapes. So caregivers could just be neighbors looking after neighbors. It could just be, I shared the example earlier that there were two women that lived across the street from each other, and they opened their blinds every morning to share that they were alive that day. And they were caregiving for each other. They were looking after one another. And so really I just wanted to let you know that even if you don't designate that term to what you're doing for a loved one or the care that you're giving, there are still services out there for you that are caregiver related, even if you do not affiliate with the term caregiver. It could be many different ways that you would be doing that. And the other thing too, there are many other ways to get that support within our program. Like I said, there's coaching, counseling, education. But one thing too that I wanted to mention is that I do host a support group for caregivers here, and it is at Trinity Lutheran Church the first Tuesday of every month. And there should be a flyer here in the church, I believe, that talks about that. And so if you know somebody or you yourself are interested in going to that group, the information should be here. And the last thing I'll just mention too is I'm just again thankful and grateful that I was able to come and share this information, because when I'm able to educate some of you, I know that you're hopefully going to go and share it with somebody else, your neighbor or a family member, and I just truly appreciate that. And if it's not something that's for you, whether it's the program itself or the volunteering, please do share that and spread the word. And so I just really appreciate that. So thank you.